Hey, I'm Mr. James from Charm City Karate, and I'm here to do a second video on practice, why practice is important. This video is actually going to focus mostly on kicking. A lot of people need help with kicking, and it's kind of weird for a Kempo guy to be doing a video on kicking, but hey, it's not like Kempo guys can't kick or don't kick. So, what we're going to talk about in this video, how to improve your back kick. A lot of people mess that up. There's a couple of simple things that we're going to talk about that can really fix that. How to not get your foot grabbed. It's a pretty simple fix. A lot of people have lazy kicks. How to improve your firing speed on kicks. What's firing speed? We'll talk about that. We'll get back to it. And controlling where you plant. That's really up to you. And having a bad spot where you put your foot down is really bozo no-no. You can make a lot of difference just by where you put your foot. Alright, so let's get to that, shall we? Alright, so we're back. First thing we're going to talk about is how to improve your back kick. The thing about the back kick is everybody hates the back kick, so nobody practices the back kick, so their back kick sucks. Because their back kick sucks, they hate it. Because they hate it, they don't practice it. Because they don't practice it, oh, you see where this is going? Okay. If you remember my first practice video, we talked about that loop. You got to practice. The more you practice, the more you'll get good at it. The more you get good at it, the more you'll like it. All right? So, if you work yours, it will get good, and you will have an advantage. All right? So, you want to work it. I've got my buddy Bob here. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, why does Mr. James never have a real person? I'll tell you why. This is a working karate school, which means normally it's really noisy here. I try to shoot these videos when it's quiet. And we haven't gotten any of the techniques yet, so I don't really need a human. Because I try to shoot them when it's quiet, the place is deserted. So, I have Bob. And Bob won't complain when I beat the tar out of him, so it'll be pretty nice. Alright, so, two main things you're going to do to help your back kick. If you're already doing both of these, and your back kick's still no good, then you just need reps, probably, because there's no excuse. First thing, most people's problem, number one with their back kick, is when they throw the back kick, their hip comes around too much and they end up throwing like a side kick instead of a back kick. All right? So this comes up, knee comes out, toes come around, hip opens up. It's not a back kick anymore, it's a side kick, which means different muscles are getting involved, the angle of the hip's wrong, power's wrong, everything's wrong. So the two things you're going to do to fix it. First thing is, you're going to keep your knees close together. That's going to keep you from getting kicked in the groin. Kicked in the groin stinks. You don't really want it to happen to you. Okay? Even if you're a girl, you still don't want it to happen to you. So you're going to keep your knees close together when you fire this kick. That's going to help a lot. It's going to keep you from turning your hips and opening this up. It's going to keep you from getting kicked in the groin. The other thing you're going to do, and this is kind of a ninja secret, you're going to think about turning the toes of the kicking foot in towards your center line. So if you're kicking with your right foot, you're going to turn your foot all like Forrest Gump-like in towards your left foot. And what's going to happen is, since your kicking foot wants to rotate to the outside, if you're kicking with your right foot, it wants to rotate away, okay, towards your right hand. When you think about pointing your right toes in towards the left, towards your center line, and it wants to rotate out, by the time you throw this kick and it lands, they're actually going to be pointing straight down towards the ground, which is where they should be when you throw that back kick. Ta-da! Toes are pointed at the ground like they should be. Woo, I threw a good kick, sensei, yay me. Alright, that's what you should be doing. So think about pointing them all goofified in towards your body. And then by the time they land, oh look, they're pointing at the ground like they should be. Remember too, you want to hit with the heel of your foot, not your toes or the ball of your foot when you throw a back kick. If you throw and hit with the ball of your foot when you throw a back kick, you only have a little tiny bit of backup mass. It's kind of stinky. Okay, it's okay if you're like, no, it's not okay. Never mind. Couldn't even think of a good time when it'd be okay. Okay, you want to drive that heel in to your target. Sorry if the camera just bounced there. All right, so there's your two big adaptations for your back kick. Toes turn in, knees stay close. If your knee comes out and your toes turn out, you're going to end up throwing like a big goofy side kick, and you're going to get kicked in the groin. Both of those stink. Now let's talk about how to not get your foot grabbed. Getting your foot grabbed when you kick, it sucks. Okay? If any of you guys are UFC fans, you probably saw that Anderson Silva versus Irvin fight. Irvin did a lot of talking smack about how Anderson Silva shouldn't move up to 205. Sometime early in the first round, Irvin threw that lazy leg kick. Silva caught him, punched him in the head. Fight was over. If you throw kicks like that, you're going to get your leg grabbed. You get your leg grabbed, you leave yourself open to get knocked out. How do you not get your leg grabbed? The way you not get your leg grabbed is you get your foot back. Sounds easy. I've seen MMA guys training all these crazy drills where they're pulling their leg back, they're doing these diving rolls, they turn and they dive away, they do all kinds of stuff like that. Those are good once the guy grabs your leg. It's better if you don't get your leg grabbed. Right? Now I'm not saying nobody ever gets their leg grabbed. I'm saying reduce the opportunity for your opponent to grab your leg. That's better. So, how do you not get your leg grabbed? Ed Parker's rule was your kick comes back twice as fast as it goes out. Oh, easy. Well, sounds easy, but you got to practice it. You can't just assume it's going to happen like that. Or you can't say, well, I'll do it. You got to practice. So if your kick goes out like this, it comes back like that. Goes out, comes back. All right? Same thing with your roundhouse kick. Goes out, comes back. Goes out, comes back. But you got to practice, because if you don't, what will end up happening is you're going to be so focused on snapping it back that you don't kick anything. You got to hit and come back, hit and come back. All right? You can't throw those big slow kicks either. All right? You got to practice snapping it back. You can let the impact help you a little on the rebound. Okay? Bounce it off of there. Take that recoil, that impact bounce, and let that help you out. And you got to practice. Get your foot back. Okay? You don't want to get knocked out. You don't want a guy to grab your leg. It's bad. Okay? The other cool thing, though, is practicing that gives you more snap on your kick. Okay? More snap, more pop. That can lead to a little bit more power for you. Or a little bit more ow for him. Those are good things. Practicing it, getting it back twice as fast as it goes out, has a lot of benefits. Not the least of which is you don't end up like Irvin going like this on the floor. Let's talk about improving your firing speed. What does he mean by firing speed? What I mean is, how fast does your kick get off the ground? Okay? If you pick up your foot and kick like that, it doesn't matter how fast your kick gets from chamber to him. If he sees this, he's not hanging out waiting for it to get off the chamber. He's going to move. Okay? You got to get it from the ground to him as fast as you can. So, one of the ways you can work that is a little drill called a hot foot. Basic idea to the hot foot is that you don't want to leave your foot on the ground because it's hot. The ground is hot. I don't know why it's called a hot foot drill. I guess because your foot gets hot when it stays on the ground too long. It's kind of like what the Muay Thai guys do when you see them tapping their foot on the mat. So, hot coals on the ground, foot taps, foot taps. Every time it touches the ground, it's got to bounce off. Plyometric guys would say it's one of their drills. It probably is. Who cares? They didn't call it plyometrics back then. So you get in your fighting stance, you're going to put the kicking leg that you want to use in the front. You can probably do this drill with the kicking leg in the back, but you're going to be a little bit off balance trying to tap the back leg. And it's a speed drill. It's not a power drill, right? And if you remember the rule, you have to lead with speed and follow with power. So leading with speed off the back leg is kind of dopey. It's not going to work out for you too good. So you're going to have the fast leg in the front. Every time this leg touches the ground, you're going to fire it off. You're not going to be able to do this drill all day because you're going to get tired. But, so what you're going to do is touch, kick, 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 kick. Okay? You can do it with front kicks. You can do it with side kicks. It doesn't really matter what kind of kick you're using it for. You can do it with combos too. You can do front and side. You can do it with partners where every time you touch, you switch, or you touch, kick, As soon as you get your kick, he tries to do a kick. And you guys are kicking back and forth. You can do it lots of different ways. The important thing is that you practice, that you do the drill. Okay? Play with it. Hot foot's kind of fun. We've got one that we do in class where we do with 2 of those long focus pads that cover your whole forearm, where you can chase each other up and down the mat. You can do it with jump switches. I'll show you a couple of these later on when we do our drill series. So keep your eyes open for those. And like I said, it also works well for kick combos. Don't let your foot dwell though. You got to snap this up and get it back. And your kick comes back how fast? Twice as fast as it went out. Practice. This last one is kind of one of my pet peeves. Control where you put your foot when you're done kicking. Okay. After you kick, do not allow your foot to simply drop down. So what if you kicked him? I don't even care if you kicked this guy and he flew back 6 feet. You control your foot. Whose foot is it? It's your foot. So you control where it goes. You don't just kick and let it drop. If you kick and just leave it hang on him, you're back to that whole thing where he's grabbing your foot, he's knocking you out. You don't want that. You got to kick, get your foot back to chamber and put it down. And you put it down where you want it to go. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it if you control where it goes. You can use it offensively. You can kick, plant, put yourself in position where you can follow up with a strike. You can kick, plant, follow up with a kick. You can even kick and plant on his foot if that's what you want to do. Follow up with a forearm under his chin when his head comes down from the plant. Doesn't matter. You can follow it up, put it somewhere defensively. So you can kick, plant, check his knee, take away his next shot while you figure out what you want to follow up with. You can also use it to add or remove range. All right? So you could kick, plant, take some range away from him so you're in to fire off punches. Maybe he's a better kicker than you are. You don't like being way back here. So you can kick, boom, plant this forward, now you're in. You took away all that range that he had. Bang, bang, bang. You can start throwing your punches. Maybe you're a better kicker than he is. So you could throw this kick, plant back. See, now you added all this range. You're back to kick range. You can throw more kicks now. You don't have to worry about him shuffling into punch range right after you threw your kick. Whereas if you'd thrown this kick and you got lazy and you just let your foot drop, oh no, he's punching me in the face. Control where your foot goes. You can use it to change angles. You could throw this kick, plant it over here. Oh, now I'm off to the side. Got this nice angle here. Okay? You could use it to get away. You could kick, plant in a twist, move to this angle. So you can change angles with it too. Lots of stuff you can do with it if you control where you put your foot. If you just kick and you let this thing drag down, you have no options. It's up to him. So one person in a fight is going to have an advantage. It's either going to be you or him. Make sure it's you. All right, so to recap, we talked about 4 things to work on for your kicks. How to improve your back kick. Keep your toes in, knees close together. We talked about how to not get your foot grabbed. Make sure your kicks come back twice as fast as they go out. How to improve the firing speed on your kicks. You want to make sure you work on your hot foot. Keep your foot from dwelling on the ground once you decide to kick. And we talked about controlling where your foot goes down. You're in control of where your foot gets planted. Don't just let it fall when you're done kicking. You can plant it forward, you can plant it back to the side. Use it tactically. Get yourself an advantage. So that's our tips for kicking. I'm Mr. James from Charm City Karate. Have a great day.